sleep with a prisoner. And I just thought, huh? What? But I never thought to Google her because I spent so much time with her.
It's like you believed everything she
said.
said.
I just, when she told me it was money, I just believed it. She told me a whole story about a pastor approaching her with his wife, asking her, and I was just like, yeah, wow, oh, that's so bad. I can't believe they did that to you. They made you cash a fake check. That's horrible. There was another person. This again was an African auntie. I'm a Christian. I just want to say I'm a Christian, but she makes all Christians look terrible. Yeah. This one, I can't stand this woman. Me and her were like this, okay? There was a time where we shared a room. We were like this. Nice African lady. Her name is Rosemary. She talks like this. As you know, cut that out. Don't put her name. I don't want her to come up to me, please. Don't put her name in. Yeah. But let me just call her. Let me call her. No, that's it's too late. I need like an African auntie name. Okay, her name's Fola, right?
Yeah. Are you Nigerian, by the way?
No.
Ghanaian?
Kenyan and Jamaican.
Okay, cool.
So, Fola used to be like really nice to everybody. Everyone loved Fola. She did a few weird things like hide meat under her bed and stuff like that. Very strange. But she had this nice African auntie vibe about her. Yeah. She would always pray for you. She would always pray with you. She would always observe the Sabbath day, and like she was just the most wholesome person. Yeah. Nobody knew what she was in there for though, right? Because she's just so nice, and you just think, why would they put you in jail for her? You're like a nice African auntie. I shared a room with her. She wasn't that great to share a room with because she had a few annoying habits, like leaving the window open because she wants like the sunlight to wake her up, and you know, those things were really annoying, but that was cool. One day she says to me, help me look on the canteen sheet. The canteen sheet is like a form where you just tick what you want to order for that week, yeah? So she says, help me look on the canteen sheet and help me find some bourbon biscuits because I love them and I really want some bourbons. So I took her folder thing and she's like flicking through for an old canteen sheet to like find where the bourbons are. While she's flicking through, I'm just like, wait a second. I have to see my family's details. Now, I caught it just for a second. It was literally, I just saw it for a second.
You saw your family's
My family's details. She'd written it down. And how I knew it was my family's details, I saw my sister's name. I saw my address. Now, my address, we'd moved while I was in prison. So I thought our door number was 40, but it was 45. And so on one of my things, I'd written 40, then cancelled it out and written 45. Yeah. So what she'd done was the same thing. So she'd initially had it written down as 40. And then, so she's flicking through papers and I've literally caught it just like that. And I thought, I did not just see that. So she flicked through again. And I've seen it again, and I thought, this is weird. Like I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do.
She's not seen that you've seen.
She's not seen. Yeah. So I just showed her like where the bourbons were, and I left the room, and I went to call my mum. I said, Mum, something strange is happening. Ola has our details written down, and she said to me, are you sure? And I was like, yes, I'm sure, because she writ the 40, then she's crossed it out. She's like basically coloured in the 0 and then done a 5. I know what I've seen. I've seen my sister's detail. I've seen my sister's name. And my mum was like, okay, don't go and look through her stuff because you'll get in trouble. Don't approach her. Go and tell an officer. And I'm like, Mum, what are they going to do? She said, just go and do it the correct way. Don't try and be funny about it.
I would have crashed it straight.
But you see, in that prison, I didn't want to go back to closed prisons. I'm trying to like...
But that's family. Like, she could be doing anything with that.
I know, but I had to...
Imagine on the visit, she's giving away info like that. Yeah. Straight bread on people's head.
What's that true? If she was saying, do you know the reason? Did you find out the reason?
Why she was in prison?
No, both actually. Why she was in
prison.
Why
she was in prison, you can't even Google this. A lot of us that were in prison, you can Google that.
Yeah.
There was a lady who arranged for her manager to be raped. She was in with me, and you can Google people, right? Yeah. But this one, she's ungoogleable. You cannot find her at all. But
some random auntie.
Exactly. And so I went and I told a few of my other friends in the prison, I was like, Fola has my details written down. And then eventually we got the Vim to like go and confront her, right? Yeah. So it was just me and her in the prayer room again. And I said, okay, Fola, you've got my family's details written down. Why do you have it? I don't know what is going on. I said, Fola, stop. You've got my family's details. Don't start acting. Yeah, like don't start acting like you're sick or whatever. Yeah. So then she was just like, okay, we'll go back to the room and I'll give it to you. So we go back to the room. She's like now walking like a decrepit woman. She's not decrepit and old like that. So we get to the room and she finds it really easily. So she knew where it was. And when she gives it to me, it has my daughter's full name, her date of birth, my mum's full name, date of birth. Now, she's got this from a visits form. Because on a visits form, you have to put all these things down. When they book it, then the prison gives it to you to say you have a visit from these people. So she's got everyone's date of birth, everyone's address, phone number, and full name. And when she gave me the paper, because I did also tell the officers, they went to her room and they couldn't find it. And I was saying, please let me go in there. I will show you where it is. And they were like, no, we can't let you do that. They didn't find it. So when she gave it to me, I went straight there and I handed it to them. And I almost got kicked out of the prison.
What, for handing it to them?
Because she ended up saying that basically I apparently coerced her to write that.
What? Why would you do that? What?
And here's the crazy part is they should have known that it was clearly not the case, right? Because I had told people about this at around 10 o'clock. That's when it happened. Around 10 o'clock in the daytime. I told people about this. Between 10 and 2, I told people. Her story was that I made her write it literally before I went to hand it over. She said that apparently I said I was feeling sick and I was like, oh, write down my family's details for me. Oh, please. And then apparently as soon as I got the paper, I went to go in. And now, the chaplain in the prison, she set up a meeting. It was me, Fola, the other auntie who lied about having the relationship with and some other people. And everyone was on my side. And especially there was a traveller that I was friends with who bit off someone's nose. And she was just like, no, you're lying, you know you're lying, you're lying, Fola. And then Fola was like, I'm not lying. But we all knew she was lying. Yeah. But somehow I almost got sent back to closed prison for that.
Did you ever find out the reason why she did it?
No, on the last day that I was leaving, I actually went to her room. I knocked on the door and I walked in and I just stood there and she said, oh, I've been waiting for you. I'm so sorry. You know, it's just that we weren't talking and I wanted... Because she'd annoyed me with the fridge. She'd taken over the whole fridge and I was annoyed. So we weren't talking, even though we were sharing a room. And she'd basically said she did it because something like she wanted to speak to my mum because we weren't talking. But what do you need my daughter's details for? What do you need her date of birth for? And I just want to say this woman's very witchy. She's witchy because she's the kind of person that like writes down her dreams and then she'll like predict things and say like, oh, I knew that was going to, you know, that sort of person.
Was she a Christian? Or she claimed that she never...
She was like Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, okay.
But she was very witchy. Like there was loads of things that she did that was like keeping the meat under her bed. It was just like just weird stuff. Yeah.
And the weirdest thing about it all is that no one knows why she's in there.
No, nobody knew.
That's mad.
Nobody knew. I'm telling you, I can't lie. I have Googled her.
Her name.
Yeah.
Many times. Nothing comes up. And everyone else that I was in prison with, for the most part, everyone is Googleable.
Yeah.
There was like the odd one or two, but they've been in prison for like 20, 30 years. So it's just like, I mean, you probably changed your name at some point. But she was only in there for like 3 years before I met her. Ungoogleable.
Well, and how long she was in for 3 years? She's been in for a while though.
Yeah, so she was in maybe 2-3 years before I got there and she left a year after. I did accept her apology in the prison, but that's just because I was like, I'm going home tomorrow. I'm not letting anybody mess this up. When I came out, she did add me on Facebook, and I was like, listen to me. Yeah. Don't message me. Now we're out.
Yeah. Don't even hit me up. Yeah.
So, because of stuff like that, I touched on the woman who...